Chill is gonna be fighting for me, for every one of us. That crease got its own roof now. Yeah, it's got its own little roof. That crease is looking nervous. It looks like the old Pizza Hut logo. Yeah, man. Right now the crease is growing even more. Yeah. So my money is on the fact that if this fight goes down, which I like I said, and we're gonna hear Chill. Hopefully, Chill can come in. Still, we're gonna listen to Chill, and we're gonna hear what he thinks about it. I want to ask him if he thinks it's gonna go down and things like that. But yeah, man, Chris no Chill. Let's see. Let's see. Yes, Frank. There's paperwork from this hospital visit. He was in the mental ward. Yeah, something. I seen something about that. Oh, now we're gonna make fun of Runner for sure. Yeah, man. Look, yeah, we're Team Chill all the way over here. We're Team Chill over the way. Shout out to Exposed to. Shout out to Slugs. Everybody that's been putting it down for on these fools, exposing the YT Yarda. Shout out to everybody, man. We're gonna keep doing this. All right. Let me add Chill. All right, we got Chill in here. Let me clear the way. All right, so we're gonna have Chill in here. Watching this video format. Hey, what's going on, Chill? Hey, nice to see you, my brother. It's the first time we actually get to talk. How's it going, man? Talk to me. How's your day been going, bro?
Oh man, everything been going good, man. I just been chilling today, hopped up a little late. Besides that, everything is good, man.
So have you been watching a little bit of my breakdown, man, on this? Have you been hearing it?
Yeah, thank you for having me on, man. I was just chilling. Actually, I just got back from Walmart. I was eating a couple burritos and scrolling, and I ran across this. And a lot of times when you run across these, they're already done. So, but it seemed like this was current. So I tapped in and wanted to, say a few things.
Hey, so but before we continue, just so you guys know, first of all, thank you, Chill, for jumping on, man. You know that we've been kind of chopping it up a little bit on the chat. I know that you've been seeing some of my stuff, man. I appreciate your support. We all support you, man. We're big fans of you, of your channel. Not just me, the Exposed Tube community. As you can already see on the chats, people are already giving you your props, bro. So, what my whole premise to this was, first of all, breaking down the fact that Joker is not fighting his battles, that he's very comfortable in allowing another man to jump in the ring, and not just jumping in the ring. We also see him on TikTok having these women fight his battles for him, right? But I want you to first of all tell me what drove you to challenge Skittles and not Joker per se.
Okay, so look, let me say this first, please, if I can. One thing I hate about all this is not, and I see a lot of people not doing this, but there are some on his channel and my channel. I hate when people are choosing sides along racial lines, man. This has nothing to do with race or this and this. And it has nothing to do with prison status, right? This is all about the character of a man,
Amen.
I was in talks with Dubs before all this stuff came out. I had a great idea just from all the time I've done in prison, what his prison status was. That didn't matter to me. So, I see some people on his channel and Gunner's channel saying, oh, I thought he said he didn't mess with dropouts and blah. Man, I'm free. Prison doesn't dictate what I do. For those who want to try to hold themselves to prison standards, go back to prison. You know what I'm saying? Just like if you happen to go to, I forget the name of that Saudi Arabia country or wherever, they got real strict rules. When you go over there, you got to do what you have to do certain things. Or you're going to go to jail. The women can't be exposed.
Hey, when in Rome, right? You do like the Romans do.
Exactly. So it has nothing to do with that, right? It has something to do with the character of a man. I feel that as old as Dubs is, as old I am and Gunner is, and we have all been to prison, we all know prison is based on respect.
Yes.
Prison is based on respect. When you get outside of that respect, then this is when the problems create. And as much time as Dubs has done, he should know never to cross certain lines. You can't cross certain lines, then apologize and think everything is going to be okay.
Right.
And so the reason, the reason why I called out Gunner is because, for one, back when me and Doug was on better terms, I look up one day, I see a video of him, a short of him punching. If you go to his shorts,
yeah, punching the bag. I've seen that. Yeah,
I called him. I said, "Hey man, let's do a YouTube content creator challenge," and he told me no, he couldn't do it because his people, implying that he was still in good standards. I'm thinking, okay, whatever, So
okay, all right. Let me pause you right here because I want everyone to I want that to sink in, right? So you basically you saw him punching the bag. And you're like, okay, so this guy, it looks like he wants to get some boxing done, right? I'm into it. Let's get it together. Let's have something go as content creators, right? Now this is after the fact that he had done content with Cowboy, right? He had already done content with Cowboy from Compton.
I believe he had already done. I'm not quite sure when the time was, but
Right. But he had done content already with brothers. I mean, this would not have been his first time.
Right.
All right. So continue with that.
And so, like I said, he told me, he couldn't do it. His people wouldn't allow it. Was pretty much verbatim his response, right? So now, then later on, fast forward when all this goes on, of course I knew he's not gonna do it, right? To me, in my opinion, I don't think he's scared, right? I think he has safety concerns, and I think his ego would not allow him to do it. He does not want to take the chance of potentially losing, and have people get on him about that. In my opinion, he has an extremely huge ego, and it gets in the way. And I want to talk about the content creating thing too a little bit, but I also want to say, if you guys pay attention to during this video, right, that you're showing, they're asking him questions right now. I don't know if everybody is familiar with the spat that him and Damian Porter had.
Yeah, they talk about that. Right? Supposedly, because Gunner Joker came out to say that he had gotten into a fight with Damian Porter sometime when they were both locked up, when they were juveniles, and they asked him about it, that should be like the undercard, and Joker says, "But we already fought. We already fought with Damian Porter." He said that like at the very beginning of this video.
Right. And then later on, he goes on to say, he says something about Damian Porter should have won the fight. He's X amount pounds heavier. He's X inches taller. Now, in my opinion, right, as long as I've been doing time, as long as I've been in the streets, those are questions you sidestep. Now, in one of the past videos, Jokers, I think him and Damian had a little spat for whatever, and then one of the last videos that Joker made in my response to Damian Porter, he says, me and Damian Porter are friends, blah blah blah. So when somebody asks the question, hey, you and Damian Porter should fight, he says, we already did. To me, that's a low-key shot at Damian Porter once again, when he should have said, hey man, we're not here about that, or whatever. Sidestep the question. Don't continue to let the trolls bite. Don't continue to bite on what the trolls say. Then later on, once again, somebody says something about Damian Porter winning the fight, or he beaten, and he says he should have. He's so many pounds bigger, and so once again, you're throwing these low-key shots at Damian Porter, but it's your ego. And in my opinion, this all just points to the character of the individual that Dubs is. If I get a fight with somebody 30, 40 years ago, if I happen to beat him up or whatever, I'm not going to let somebody else rile me back up to potentially cause a situation between me and a man that's supposed to be friends.
Right. Now, so just going back to, first of all, just addressing the fact that he tried to use that prison politics to not do that with you.
Right.
This is just some way out bullshit, because we already know that fool will do anything for $1. He'll do anything for $1 except look like a fool. So, that's what he was thinking about. And I agree with you. And I know you see my content. That's exactly what I point out. This has nothing to do with prison. Like my channel, I'm not portraying it as a prison channel. We're pointing out the character of this individual who has constantly talk shit about other people, other content creators, calling out their status, calling out their prison status. They try to do that to you with the 19 points and the CMC and all of that bullshit, like that infamous video, which is what started a lot of this shit, right? Like him letting the trolls get into his head, and then he performs for the trolls, he performs for his viewers. He's got to do this tough guy role. But when push comes to shove, he's not down to fight his own battle. Now, I think it is fear, and I have to say, maybe not so much fear of getting beat up, but the fear of the consequence of him getting beat up, right? The fear of how he's going to be looked upon, and that part I agree with you 100%.
Right.
I also think that yes, Skittles jumped in to save his ass, and I think in this video we're seeing, and that's what I was breaking down, Chill, is that Joker resents the fact that that Gunner accepted the fight. I think he resents it. I think it makes him look weaker. What do you think about that? Do you think that the fight will go on? Do you think that he's really going to pull it through?
Well, okay. So to the first question, does Joker feel that makes him look weaker? Honestly, I never gave any consideration to that. And now that you mention it, it's a possibility. You know, who knows what goes on in the minds of Dubs, right?
Yeah.
But it's a possibility. I mean, you know, because Dubs is overly concerned with his image, right? He has danced around about his status and this and that, when in the opinion of many, had he just came out initially and admitted what he was or who he was or whatever, it would have had no bearing on the channel. We see content creators who have many views, right? And so not to
You're kind of cutting off a little bit, Chill. I don't know if
it might be sometimes
yeah, don't worry. Go ahead, take care of that. Yeah, you know.
Yes. Let me come in here.
I think just to make it clear, just to make it clear, guys, and I think I want to repeat what you said, only because I feel the same way. In no way, shape, or form has this ever been about his status in prison or all of that. It's always been about, and this is where I want us to, I think we can both concur, Chill, is that no matter how much time you did, no matter what it was, or what time you did behind bars, the minute that you step out, and that I believe God gave me another opportunity at life, is what do you do with that second opportunity? Like, right. What do you come out? Like, if you're going to go ahead and put yourself out there and start a channel, what is it that you're going to put out there? And I think that we all saw, and how Dubs started, like, what level he started at. Very humble dude, very thoughtful dude, trying to bring the race together, blah, blah, blah. But little by little, all of that started going away, and he got into this tough guy persona where now was prison politics. Now, when it was convenient for him, because I remember when he was real close with Hoodie from there was a content
Hood.
Right, and a cartoon. He was real good about having those relationships. But once people started calling him out, then it became political again. Then it became, why are you speaking on my status if this is, so I just wanted to refresh everybody's memory, because I think all of that has a factor in how he gets down with you. But continue, man. Go ahead, bro.
And so I was just saying, I believe had he just came out from the gate, none of that had any bearings, right? I don't call anybody out in this specific genre. I'll go to a dude in Chicago, right? There was a dude in Chicago named Trenches News Media. He does content on the gang, that big gang stuff out there, which was real big. There happened to be a pretty big rapper by the name of FBG Duck who got killed out there. Yeah. And so he's reporting it all the time. Now they catch the guys who killed FBG Duck, and they were associated with the other rapper, King Von. And so all this stuff is going on. They're wondering now they're talking about they got these informants all the time, all the while this guy, Trenches News, is reporting on the case, and he too is wondering who the informants in this case might be, and come to find out he was one of the informants. He goes to trial. He gets on the stand because he used to live in both these areas that FBI lived in and King Von lived in. He goes to trial, gets on the stand. He testifies against these guys. He comes right back, gets on his page, and his page is still blowing up and booming and this and that. So my whole point of saying that is, people don't care nowadays about who's telling and all that on YouTube. They just want to be entertained. So, had Dubs came clear with, because I think if he had come clear about who he was, then it would have prevented him from, especially for calling out other people and trying to downplay other people. He got and I don't want to put names out there, but we know he famously got into a big spat on an individual live, called this dude out for going to the other side, and then come to find out you went to the other side. So I mean, to me, I just really, I'm baffled by how individuals can rock with his character. I'm not telling people don't support him, and I mean don't be entertained by his channel, but
it's baffling.
It's baffling to just try to defend that guy. Then I seen earlier when somebody was saying, hey, stop making content on Dubs. Let's keep in mind, this dude has over 350 videos on Wes Watson. If you go to that Dubs S channel and count them videos, he has over 350 videos. So like, you understand, Frank, but the people who watch don't understand. To validate your point, this is all content, man. This is all content. Those guys do it. It's content. You know,
exactly.
When I do content on Dubs and Gunner, if I'm not lying, what's wrong with that? You know, when Dubs
see, you know what? And I only get at him because, you know, but I don't really trip on that, man. But you know what I do want, and I want, once again, I want to state this clear, bro. You know, one of the things that we have in on my channel, Exposed to, and all of us, is we transcend all of that prison politics. We transcend all of those racial barriers, man. I rock with you, bro. I think you're a respectable man. And I think that, you know, you're a very reasonable, level-headed individual. And that's why I rock with you, because I feel that to some extent, I'm the same way. You know, I maybe clown a little more, whatever, but, you know, but I hear you clowning too. And I think that the fight has nothing to do with race. You know, just going back to your point, right? The fight has nothing to do with race. The trolls are going to make it racial. But like, once again, I honestly believe, like you said, the whole point of this is, if you guys are so comfortable disrespecting people from behind your keyboard, okay, let's meet up and let's see if that disrespect carries into real life once you get a two-piece combo to the face. Right. That's how I see it. You know, you're so comfortable talking all of this shit, making all of these videos, getting drunk, acting stupid, because he's made a lot of comments. Like, he went so far as to get your board transcripts. Isn't that correct?
Right. Okay. And that's a good thing that you brought that up. Right. So Dub says once something hits internet, it's for everybody, right? And I agree. Everybody has the right to be able to react or respond to something once it hits the internet. But now Dubs, he has took it upon himself to go seek out my transcripts. My transcripts didn't hit the internet. He reached out to get them, of course, with the intention to try to smut me and make me look bad. So now, once you get those transcripts and you see there's nothing in there that you can smut me about, now you want to hang your hat on Chill had 19 points. Let's just say, for instance, and before the transcripts arrived, he said, I'm going to react to Chill's. Chill's transcripts are next. I guess he was anticipating some smut. So are we going to sit here and believe that had he got my transcripts and I had horrific charges, or I was even in there for something other than I said? You know, let's just say I was in there for a carjacking and I really had no, shootings and stuff like that. He would hold Chill's a liar. Chill's not in there for this. So why didn't he react? I welcome him. React to my transcripts. React to him. But so, he plays this. The dude is just, it's what's really hard when speaking about him is just trying to stay composed, because he's this man. He's, and like you say, he goes on live. He disrespects people. He calls people the worst type of names. Then a lot of times he'll delete the lives. So some people, if you're not up at 3 o'clock when he's drinking all these beers and talking crap, then you're not going to see this. So then when people respond, you have people out there that thinks, oh man, why these guys are so focused on Dubs? When Dubs talks a lot of stuff, a lot of times he'll just erase it. He's a very different individual when he makes videos in the daytime and then when he does those lives, So it's just, but at the end of the day, it's content. I don't take any of this stuff personal. It is content. Like when I reached out to Dubs before me and him was at odds, my whole point is, man, this is content. We're YouTube content creators. You have people out there who want to see us box on the Mexican and the black side, but we don't have to turn it into that. We're doing this for content.
Exactly. Now, I'm getting questions in the chat. I'm gonna ask you about. But here's the thing, man. So if you let them tell it, there was a phone call between you guys where you had a stern talking to,
Right.
which I, we call that cap here. We call it bullshit. We already know that that's not what went down. But how do you interpret them making it out to be that type of a phone call? Like, what can you say about that?
And so once again, these guys lie, and I had typed a message earlier before I came on. They change important words in relation to everything that
The whole
happens.
semantics game that they play.
Right. So now I showed a video not too long ago. Maybe I can't remember the name, what I titled the video, right? Just literally 4 or 5 videos ago. So it's not far down on my page, but I show where Gunner in 2 different videos says that the conversation that we had on the phone was respectful. Nobody was disrespectful. Everybody spoke peacefully and this and that. So there are two separate times where he's showing that Dubs is lying. Why would Dubs talk to me sternly and in the same conversation then turn around and tell me he went SNY? So
Yeah.
real quick, that conversation was Dubs did a video about the federal system saying that some dude that said blacks are afraid of Mexicans in the federal system.
Okay.
I made a response video saying that I felt basically his intention was to take a back shot at the blacks like he loves to do, like the same with the disrespectful download Damian Porter comment he made. So then Gunner jumps into it, and Gunner makes a video, and then Gunner mentions CMC. So now this is where Gunner
infamous CMC video.
Right. And so I get at Gunner. I said, hey, man, listen, I know you've been at Mule Creek. You're a dropout, blah, blah, blah. My response was content related. I didn't mention prison status. If you guys want to bring in prison status, then that's what we can go down. That's the lane we can go down. Gunner then suggested I call Dubs. Gunner says, yeah. Then he talked to Dubs, and Dubs says, yeah, I want to talk to that guy. Why do you want to talk to me unless you have a problem with me? I had Dubs' number. So anyway, Gunner is adamant about me and Gunner. He is adamant about me and Dubs talking because obviously he knows that Dubs has a problem with me and he's trying to smooth it out. So, so we all hop on the phone. The first time Gunner tells it, he tells the story that, okay, Chill called the next day. The next time he starts telling the story, I had to call Chill. Chill was ducking. Chill was running. They love to insinuate and put BS into the mix, right? So when we call and get on the phone, when I call Gunner, Gunner calls Dubs on the 3-way. Keep in mind, I've already had Dubs' number for a year. So anyway, Dubs answers the phone. He says, hello. I can already tell he has some type of attitude, right? And so I explained to him, hey, listen, man, when I made my video in response to what you said, I'm not basically tearing you down. I'm disagreeing with something that you said in relation to black people. The same way if I was to make a video and I said something you disagreed with in relation to Mexicans or whoever you did time with or whatever, you would make a response video. Dubs tells me, hey, man, well, he's still upset and this got rocks in his jaws. But then finally he calms down a little bit and he says, well, you know what? I just feel, man, like guys that I consider my friend, you, Hoodie from the Hood, Damian Porter, when you guys make videos, if I feel like it's, coming against me, I take it personal because I consider you guys friends. He said, I don't care nothing about the other guys making the video. So once again, I reiterated, listen, Dubs, if my mom does something and I disagree with her, I'll let her know. But it's not going against her. It's going against, you said something and I didn't understand because why would you make a video about a dude in the feds talking about what's going on in the feds when me and you've never served Fed time or you have never served Fed time? It was a way of trying to make your point without having to make your point.
Yeah. I mean, we do reaction videos all the time. We're not always going to agree with what everyone says, even if we're cool. Like, you might watch a video of mine and be like, okay, we're cool, but I don't agree with that, or maybe there was some misinformation in that, but I'm gonna be mad enough to be like, all right, hey, that's cool, because for me, it's all about facts, right? It's all about living a reality. We're gonna speak on realities here. We're not gonna speak on made up shit. We're not gonna try to put up a front, and and once that front is questioned, which is what I think happened with Dubs. I think that once his whole high power persona was starting to be questioned, he's starting to get very, very uptight about it and on the defensive. Before we continue, I just want to read this comment. It says, enjoy everyone just stopping in to show support. I was personally on the same yard with Chill. He's a good individual, respects. That's Rob from Misled Loyalty putting it out there. Shout out to you, Rob. Fuck
Hey,
cancel,
shout out
man.
to Rob.
Shout out to you. You're in our prayers, bro, consistently, man. You know, good shit, man. We love your channel. We love what you do, bro. And you know, and Rob was one of the guys that put out a video, which he hardly ever does, exposing Dubs, and he got mad at you. He got mad at Slugs for doing reaction videos on that. Then he got mad at you, Chill, for putting out the reaction video about homeboy the Wood homie that was talking on his paperwork, but he made it seem like you were the one that put that video out, like you were the one that was responsible for that content being put out there. And that's part of the reason why lately this battle and this came back up and it flared back up again. What can you say about that, bro?
Like you just said, man, the dude, I think he has some deep psychological issues. You know, he'll never admit to being wrong. He's extremely arrogant, and it's crazy because you had another content creator. The main reason why I reacted to the Wood reading his paperwork, because we've had another content creator who reacted to it first. I didn't want to. I think we know who I'm talking about. I didn't want to bring him into it, but when he done the first reaction, mind you, of course, everybody knows me. I have the video receipts. Dub said that guy did a good job.
Yes.
I reacted to the exact same paperwork. So how am I exposing you and putting your life in jeopardy, danger?
Crazy.
It was already out there. I'm reacting to what he reacted to. You know what I'm saying? So he wants to create a delusional narrative and try to make it seem like everybody's out to get him. Or I don't know. Like I say, it's hard to really know what goes on in that guy's mind, man. But he wants to. I know that he is the king when it comes to playing the victim. He loves to.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and that's why I put this. You know, I wasn't really going to talk. I was just going to come on today and just talk some shit, right? But you know, I started thinking and analyzing this whole fight thing, man. And I remembered this video, and there's so much you can pick apart from this video alone to demonstrate the type of person that Joker is. I know that the video, the live, was about Gunner announcing his fight with you, but all of the comments, all of the ways that Joker reacted to what was going on, even in this video, highlight a lot of the issues that he has. All right, look, it says, I got a question here. Frank, what about the last phone call? Joker said him and Chill got back on the phone. Did Joker admit to being a rat? Well, that was kind of mentioned, bro, because I do think that Dubs told you about his status, didn't he, Chill? He told you about his status?
Yeah. So when the three of us had the phone call, and I've done a video about this, Joker, me, Dubs, and Gunner, when we had that phone call, he told me, because we started off the conversation like this, and I told him that, basically, man, Gunner made that response video. I said, listen, you guys are talking about where I done time at, which, it doesn't bother me. I put out many videos about, doing time at CMC, because once again, it's not permitted it's not, disallowed by my people for me to go there. So anyway, I said, I can bring your status into play. I've never mentioned your status. He says, well, what is my status? I tell him, well, of course, I don't know 100%. I said, but if I was a betting man or something along those lines, I'll bet you're no good with your people. He said, well, I am. So he admitted it. And then after they went disrespectful on and got on that live, the next day we talked on the phone. I told him on the phone that, hey, man, you disrespected me on live, so I'm going to you disrespected me on YouTube, so I'm going to reply on YouTube and let people know that you told me you went SNY. I told him this on the phone before I even dropped the video, So, like I say, then why would he talk to me sternly, then turn around and tell me he went SNY? But
doesn't make sense, bro.
Gunner says that, hey, those, like I said in two separate videos, all those conversations was respectful. Everybody was respectful, so on and so forth. So it just, to me, like I say again, I'm baffled. Why is it so important to Dubs to make it seem like he talked to me sternly? He checked me on the phone. If he'll lie about something so small, of course we know he'll lie about something big.
Yes. No, I agree, man. I agree. And I sometimes I think I have too much grace because I truly feel like if he would have just come out and been like you said, if he would, I have the same belief. If he would have come out, been straight up, at this point nobody would be talking about it. You know, he would be able to do his content. He could be talking about really, literally everything. But he made his whole persona about his status. He made his whole channel about who he was and all of these things that I believe to this point now, after seeing how he moves, a lot of it is bullshit. But you know that's just me. That's just how I feel about it. But what I wanted to ask you regarding this situation is, do you think that there could ever be a moment in which you could be cool with Dubs? Like, what would it take? Like, what would have to happen for you to feel like, okay, maybe I can have some kind of a relationship with this character?
Honestly, nothing. And only because I feel like Dubs is a snake, you know. He has very deceitful ways. Like I say, once again, to reiterate, he says him and Damian Porter are cool. But the second somebody in the comments says something about you guys should fight, we fought already. You know, he should have won the fight. He's, you know, his ways and the character, the way I was schooled and raised is very different from the way he was schooled and raised. And so we would never mesh. It has nothing to do with him going SNY and this, you know. I was raised at and then like with Gunner somewhat too. Gunner is the ultimate, to me, the ultimate suck up, the kiss up, right? If my friend is here, I'm gonna let my friend speak for himself. You know, if there's no need to stand up from, if somebody says something about my buddy who has a YouTube channel, I'll let my buddy defend him. I'll let my buddy defend himself.
Exactly.
I'm not
you know, you hold your friends accountable. Like, you hold them accountable. Like, hey man, that's your battle. Me being a friend is me telling you, go fight that shit. You know what I mean?
So it just, you know, just the way you know, they love to talk about how much Kletcher and schooling they have, you know.
Yeah.
We're just very different in the way, you know, the way we was raised in our beliefs. And, you know, so of course I could never just be friendly with Dubs, because I just believe this dude is a snake. And he'll turn on you the second he gets a chance, you know.
Yeah, and I think he's already turning on his own. But we you know, I just think that if Gunner and Joker continue to be together is because they had so many skeletons that they know about each other, that now it's more of a, you know, if we separate, there's a fear that you're gonna just reveal all this shit on me, and you know, and it goes vice versa. That's what I think at this point, just from seeing how they move, man. And you know, I agree, man. For me, that ship has sailed. I don't think that there's anything that they could come and say now that would redeem them. It would just have to be them fucking being born again, like literally, like dying and being born again. You know what I mean?
And let me hammer. Excuse me. Let me hammer in one other.
Go ahead, man.
Who have, you know, somewhat kept current with this back and forth and stuff. And really, I'm tired of this. That's why, and that's another reason I called Gunner out, because I'm tired of making videos and stuff. Let's get in the ring and figure it out, right? But Dub said, you know, well, I consider Chill a friend. I consider Chill a friend. So if you consider me a friend, right, and somebody says, hey man, you know, 16 to Life dropped the video on you, and the first thing you do is Chill, and I don't, you know, want to maybe mess your live up, but Chill, you know, Chill, he's a pussy, eh? Fuck Chill, and if that fucking punk dropped the video on me, I'll clown his fucking ass. If that's your first response when somebody tells you that your friend has done something, then we're not friends, right? His response should have been, oh, he's dropped the video on me. Well, let me go check the video out first, and then I'll get back to you guys. You know, I mean, at the age he is, like I say once again, and at the time he's done in prison, right? When prison is 100% based, because there's never any problems in prison until somebody is disrespectful, or somebody has done something that is perceived as disrespectful. So, you know, he should have been, once again, said, okay, you know what? Let me go check the video out, and then I'll weigh the video out. Then I'll give, you know, my opinions on what is this and that. So he should, at his age, he should know better.
No, and I agree, bro, because I even left a comment on one of your videos saying that, because I was watching that live. I saw how his troll got at him, and I saw that whole reaction live, and I remember that they were then trying to blame you. It's like, wait a minute, you guys are the ones that provoked all of this shit, man. Like, you guys started this shit, and I agree, bro. They're just comfortable being disrespectful. Now, so here's my thing, man. I know that you want to put all of this away, and I want you to go ahead and do so too. But my recently we were doing a live, Exposed to, he puts them on blast. And Joker was on TikTok with a bunch of women. That he's been doing that a lot lately, drunk off his ass. And they asked him about going to the fight. And he basically said that he would not show up. Like, he would not, he's not going to show up to the fight. Because he said, because he said that you disrespected him so, like, to such an extreme that it's on site. That's what he said. He said it's on site. Like, he will not show up because what do you think about that after we know that this man has been constantly running from the fade? Like, what can you say to that, bro?
I mean, once again, that's the Budweiser talk. The dude getting drunk, he says anything, and of course, it's never going to be on site because he's never going to go anywhere to see me, right? I mean, if he really wanted to see me, I mean, you got my number, man. Call me. I don't want to see the dude hurt, right? None of that type of stuff. But meet me up if you really feel that type a way about it. Call me, meet me somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we can figure it out. It's a whole lot of things I am, but one thing I'm not is scary, right? And like I say, I don't even have that animosity toward the individual. My whole thing is, once I saw those guys because a lot of times I get a whole lot of information on dubs, right? People want to say this and want. Before that live, I had so much stuff talking about, this guy was no good. I never put any of that information out. I never even done any content on him unless it was a good reaction to something that he said, right? Once he done that, in my mind, I said, okay, if this is the way this guy feels now, I'm just going to start doing content on the dude. That's all. Somebody just 2-3 days ago, somebody sent me a whole bunch of information on him related to that DUI that he got, So it's content. That's what kills me, man. It's content, and the audience may not get it, but anybody that's a content creator who's blessed enough to get paid for behind this stuff, you shouldn't. I hate when I see content creators who do, and not just these two dudes, I see other guys too who do content on other people, and then the second they do something to become content, they get upset when people make content on them, when we all know whoever is the hot topic this week, next week is gonna be somebody else anyway.
Exactly.
So why you get all up and up when Dubs put out, when I seen him talking about, I'm waiting on Chill's board report. I'm gonna expose Chill. Oh, what? To me, it's content. I went up and put up another video. Okay, I can't wait for you to expose me, because you're not gonna see nothing in my board report. But
I mean. And I think you hit the nail on the head, man. It's always good when they're doing it, but once it's being done on them, I mean, these are some of the bigger content creators, right? I mean, we've got Skittles with 136,000 viewers. We've got Joker with, like, I don't know, he's like at 70,000-80,000 something. I mean, that's pretty big. Dubs in our
Dubs is 96. Joker's like Gunner's like 170 something.
What? Yeah. So, but I think it's dropped. It's dropped because I was just looking at it. It's like 130. So, but anyways, but they're still big. I mean, they're still big compared to like me, man. I'm barely getting above 500. But they're so pressed on the shit that we do, bro. Like, they're so pressed that they can't get our names out of their mouth, man. And I think it's unfortunate that it's gotten that way. Go ahead, man.
Let me say something to the audience who may not have an idea, right? A lot of us content creators who get a certain amount of subscribers, we're blessed to even be. My very first YouTube check was maybe about $80, $90, $70, $80 away from $4,000. Wow. If I make $3,000 a month, that's kind of a bad month for me on YouTube. So I say that to say, once again, the audience fails to realize we get paid nicely. And so all this stuff is content. They get so caught up emotionally into the stuff where, like I said, with me, it's content. It's just another financial
way of making money. Yeah.
Paycheck on the 21st.
It's another hustle.
That's all it is.
You know, that's how I see it. Because you know, when I got into this, bro, I mean, now lately, because I really have been pushing to monetize. That's been my whole, like, my message has been that, like, I just want this to be another way of making money. But I continue to work, man, and I think that the problem here was that um, the Joker put all of his eggs into this one basket. You know, he put all of his, he stopped working because, you know, he's not in this car anymore. You know, he stopped working. He decided to make this his primary hustle. And I think that that's forcing him to continue to put up a front. Like, that's what's forcing him, because he probably feels, man, if I ever show any kind of weakness, I'm just going to lose more viewers. You know, and I think that's what really drives all of the shit that he does, whether he's drunk, whether he's not, but just him constantly getting on live is because he needs to continue to make money.
Right. Well,
Now, yeah, go
you
ahead.
100%. It's all about, it's all about money. Because of course, when you go live, people donate, people give you money and stuff. So yeah, it's all, it's a job, man. It's a job.
Now, so here's my question, because I know that there's an afterwards. So let's say that the fight goes through, right? Everything, you guys do what you have to do. I'm already telling you right now, Chill, I don't think the fight is going to go through. But let's say that it does go through, right? You guys have the fight, whatever. What comes after that? Like, what do you see happening after that?
After that, I think we both continue to just, to go on, man. I mean, once again, after that, I'll still be a content creator, right? So if any YouTube content creator puts himself in a position to become YouTube content,
Keyword, right?
not just those guys. I mean, like he tries to make a issue. Oh, Chill does content on me with the Gunner talking about the Super Ricky issue.
Yeah.
Had me and Gunner not been at odds, that's still a YouTube content moment. You have done something to make yourself content. So people are, once you reach a certain status, people are interested in you, and you become somewhat public, public property or whatever. So you can't complain if I always say, if I go to Walmart and I get caught stealing $200 worth of steaks, people are gonna make content about me. So I can't make it personal.
Yeah.
I've done something. So anyway, once it goes past that, I think that, we'll continue to, Gunner has proposed that once we fight, it's all dead in the water, and let's move forward. And I'm 100% with that. I want to make one more video about the fight or whatever. Now, I think the fight will potentially happen. I just feel that Gunner knows that, if he doesn't come and show up, if we put everything into motion, then it's gonna look bad on him or whatever. So I think that he'll show up, but who knows? So for everybody, this is what we're trying to do, right? I know a few people who have some connections with brand risk boxing, where you had Blueface fighting on Charleston White and all that. That's what we're trying to get on. We're trying to get on that for a couple of reasons. One, of course, because of the income, and then
Of course.
it'll give everybody an opportunity to see it. I don't want to go to some backyard. I don't want to go to some backyard fighting show or none of that old type of crap. And then once I proposed to Gunner that we both show up with 5,000 and winner take all, he wasn't really too interested in that, right?
Mm-hmm.
He wants to pretty much be paid. He wants to be
Like ticket sales and stuff like that.
Have a guaranteed income, because in the event he comes to the fight and he loses, then he doesn't have nothing if we go with the 5,000 winner take all, right?
Right.
Strictly fine with that, right? But so he's more interested in, a guaranteed income, and that's cool too, so that's what we're trying to do. I should know something next week in terms of potentially being able to get on brand risk. And so I'm hoping.
All right. That sounds
another thing. Say one last thing. So on that little video, they was speculating about how tall I am and this and that. I'm 5'9", man. I'm 5'9". Right now I'm 195, but I want to come in at 175 to 180. So I'm gonna be the shorter boxer. I'm gonna be the older boxer. I'm gonna be the less experienced boxer because he's already done it. I'm gonna be, let me see, shorter, older. I'm gonna be lighter. So he should be the favorite. He should, and I parole with,
Hey, but chill, come on, chill. Look. Come on, let's keep it real.
Don't get out parole with that.
Let's keep it real. But you know. I mean, because you seen old boy in the ring. Come on, bro.
Well,
You
no,
seen old boy in the ring.
I'm just saying, according to those dudes, listen, man, I'm gonna be if Gunner is goofy enough to get in that ring, I'm gonna beat the brakes off Gunner. No question.
I agree.
According to him, and I'm just saying he should have the advantage because he's taller, he's gonna weigh more.
Yeah.
He's younger, and like I say, I'm Urkel, so he should have no problem disposing of Urkel.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, man. I don't. I hate that comparison, bro. Because I just so you know, man, I grew up around a lot of brothers, man. And I have a lot of love for my African American brothers. As a matter of fact, a lot of my positioning against the powers that be come from just seeing how they do us dirty, how they do us all dirty. The prison complex, and how they make money off of us, man. That's what gets to me, bro. Just so you understand, my problem with these guys is that they're pitting us against each other when their whole get down supposedly was about being together, about upraising our people, about having this unity. You know what I mean? Like what we're having, like us chopping it up right now. To me, it just goes to show that we can be from different walks of life, we can be from different races, but man, we come from a lot of the similar backgrounds. Our similarities are not, are very much the same. Like, the system is out to get us constantly, bro. Like, the system wants us back. They would love to make money off of us. You know what I mean? So they always talk about this raza shit. They always, try to use that as a shield so that they're not criticized. The fact that Joker brought up the whole raza thing to not do content with you. Like, I want you to speak a little bit about the unity, bro. I want you to speak a little bit about, putting aside the whole prison shit. How do you see the get down between us as people of color, people from different areas? Yeah, maybe gangs pit us against each other, maybe prison politics. How do you see that? What would you like to see, brother? What's your thoughts about that?
Well, no, you made a good point, Frank, in saying that we have way more similarities than we don't, right? And a lot of times, if we see, whether, well, to be honest, I've seen more older black dude being interviewed on these platforms saying, and I'm pretty sure there's probably some Mexicans too, though. They're saying that, in our era when we grew up together. Spent the night at each other's houses. We hung with each other. We go visit each other, enjoy each other's food, and all that type. There was growing up in the 70s and 80s. There was really no beef between the black gangs and the Mexican gangs. Of course, the black gangs beef with the black gangs. The Mexican gangs beef with the Mexican gangs. So somewhere it got all twisted. But like you say, we have a lot of similarities. A lot of us have respect for each other, even after all the stuff that goes on, because the real ones realize with all this back and forth, especially that, circulated from prison, the real ones realize that's just something that's going on in prison. And sometimes individuals do what they have to do, but there's always going to be a large amount of respect there, because a real soldier is going to respect a soldier regardless. Right. And so, that's why I say I do hate when people try to bring race into the situation, because it shouldn't be like that, man. I want to send my shout outs and my respect to all the Mexicans and the Southsiders. A lot of times, man, there are Southsiders who have popped up in pages doing this type of stuff, and they'll say, hey, man, Chill, his folks, Chill is good among Chill is good with his people. Our thing is our thing. And I respect that, because for the Southsiders who have done that, they don't have to do that. They don't have to take time out of their day to say, hey, man, you guys are on Chill about something you shouldn't even be on him about. So, sometimes you have a lot of black people out there who want me to, say, hey, Chill, become angry and Irish Mexicans, and I'm not going to do that, because I don't put blanket statements on races and people and all that. So to me, it's good and bad on both sides, man. And so it's sad that it has come to this at times that where people try to make it racial when it should be about the individual, you know.
Yeah, it should be about the character, right? It should be about how we respect or don't respect each other. And I think it's very important to put that message out there, because that's really what I'm all about, man. Like, if you read the description to my channel, it's always been about, the conversation between people of color, because we're the ones that suffer the blunt end of the colonialization. If we take it all the way back, we are the fucking collateral damage of colonization. you know Black people brought into the Americas, by way of slavery, us being enslaved in our own lands and being raped and being pillaged and all of that. We are the consequence, like us, how we grew up, always fighting against the powers that be. So for me, it's just sad, bro. And I'm kind of happy that we had this conversation. I want to first of all extend my respect and my love and my appreciation for what you do, bro. Thank you so much for jumping on my channel and having this conversation, because I think this goes to show that when you have respect, when that's the common ground, when that's the common denominator. Yeah, we want to make money off of this, but I'm not going to make money off of this acting a fool, acting a clown, and acting stupid. I want to make money off of this showing respect. And you being here is a clear example of that, man. The fact that you're here, the fact that you get down with what we do, man, I just want you to know that the majority of the people that are in the chat, they got your back. We got them trolls. We're always going to have them trolls talking shit, trying to cause division. But at the end of the day, man, I think that you putting yourself out there, calling these punks out just like we do, it just goes to show that real people with common sense, real people that are trying to get the message across of unity and of change, will eventually see eye to eye and come together. I say even naturally. It's almost organic for us to have these type of conversations and to come together, because we see how we get down. Like, what do you think about that? Like, what do you think about the respect that you get from content creators on this side of the aisle? Because the majority of us give you a lot of love and respect.
Oh no, I most definitely appreciate it, right? And if anybody who has paid attention to this issue that we have going, they will notice, or maybe they may not, but I like to bring it to their attention. Long after those guys made that disrespectful video, I still was respectful toward those dudes. I never called them out of their name until maybe many videos later, once I seen Joker, starting to call me bitches and all that old type of shit. To me, talking shit over the computer or cell soldiering is one of the weakest things you can do, because a person can, if you're over the computer, you might as well be in China. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if I can't get to you, I can't get to you. So to come on here and talk crazy and call an individual out of his name, to me, it's weak. And it's just something that I was not schooled to do. And it was really instilled in me more so even when I went to prison. So, but after a certain point, after a person calls you a million bitches, I mean, after a while, I mean, okay, this is the game you like to play. Even when I did that Dubs diss song, I had no disrespectful cussing in it or anything. And then I look at him one day calling me a whole bunch of bitches. So then I went back and I switched a few lines. I said, okay, if this guy wants to get extremely disrespectful, then we can do that, because that's the game that he likes to play. But I just feel that, man, respect is tantamount when you're dealing with other individuals. I was also taught, especially more so when I went to prison, that you don't support wrong regardless of who it is, right? And Gunner is one of those individuals. He has said it. He's gonna ride with Dubs regardless. If I see my homeboy doing something wrong and I go over there and I support it, now I'm jeopardizing everybody that rides with us. Now, if it turns physical, I'm going to support him. But then when we get back to the hole and go where we're going, he's going to be dealt with. But if I can prevent it from turning physical and telling him, hey, homie, you wrong. You lost playing chess. You guys was playing $20 a game. Pay the man his money. You don't support wrong. You know what I'm saying? And so
amen.
If an individual doesn't have the moral compass to recognize what wrong is, or he doesn't have the moral compass to not support wrong when he sees it, once again, then you're an idiot, and there's no way me and you are ever going to, we're gonna mesh well, because what we believe in is too far apart.
Yeah, and I think that that's kind of really what separates the real from the fake, Chill. I mean, if I can get a word in edgewise, is the fact that a lot of people talk about respect, talk about how they were respected, yet show no ounce of respect for anyone. And I don't think I don't think people respect people that are disrespectful. I don't think that. And if your whole life you've been able to get away with disrespect, you've been lucky. You've been lucky if you've been able to get away for so long disrespecting people and not catching one. Whether it's two piece combo to the face, or whether it's a hot one. Because some people will only take it and take disrespect so far. And I commend you, bro. I commend you, because I think that you get constantly disrespected by these cats, and yet you come off as a thinking individual, cool-headed, level-headed, and I respect that about you, because I try to feel the same way. I mean, I'm sure that there are times that you have felt like, man, I wish I had these motherfuckers in front of me. I could just like, tell me what that feels like. How do you like when you how have you ever felt that way? We're like, man, I just wish I could just have these fools. Have you ever felt that way, man?
And no, and that's what I said. That's what I said earlier. Sometimes it's hard to stay composed when you're dealing with this situation, just because it's it gets a little frustrating, right? But also, just I think I have been blessed with just by the grace of God, I've been blessed with a calm personality at times, right? And so I'm able to deal with a whole lot, because in this life that I led, I've been in the streets since about 14 years old. I started off selling weed, then moved to selling crack and all that, fighting with gang stuff. All this shit comes with the territory. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm an individual who doesn't take a lot of it personal. Some people do, some people take it personal, but like I've been shot, I've been stabbed in the or cut on the back in the county jail with a razor, I've been jumped. It comes with the life. And so after and then 10 years ago, I never knew if I was ever going to get home. So I just really feel blessed to be free. So I don't, a lot of this stuff, man, is just water down my back. I don't have any animosity. I don't care enough to have animosity about Dubs or Gunner. You know what I'm saying? I disagree with their character. And, we can get into the ring and have a little friendly boxing match. If I was really upset, then I'd be on here screaming and calling them all out in name and all that old type of stuff, But what's the point when, for one, we're never going to run across each other, and for two, I don't necessarily want the consequences of getting into a physical confrontation with these individuals, right? Regardless, people may think, I know I don't have the luxury of spitting a spitball at anybody. I've got attempted murders, and I've got a murder in my background. I yell too loud at a motherfucker, I'll be back in jail for 20 years. So, I don't. It's good out here. Be able to go outside and go to Walmart and get Slurpees and all the shit.
Yeah, man. Look, so so I understand that part of them not wanting to get involved and not wanting to have these confrontations with people in real life, because they say it all the time. But if you don't want these conflicts, why are you constantly creating conflict? And see, that's my thing, man. It's like, if you don't want people to be at you, why are you getting at people? Like, you're constantly getting at motherfuckers disrespectfully.
Remind me of a statement. And see, one thing about me, right? All my life I've been like this. When I hear somebody that says something that makes common sense, I try to hold on to it and implement it into my life. And so that reminds me of a comment. One of my friends who I've interviewed several times, OG Chances, he says, if you don't want problems, why act like it?
Exactly.
A lot of times people will drop jewels and they'll go over our head, or we don't pay attention. But if we was to hold on to some of these jewels and try to implement them into our daily lives, it would make things a lot better, right? Because everybody talks about how tough and cool prison is. Nobody wants to go there, right? Even though individuals they had locked in the Pelican Bay shoe, and they wanted a better they wanted a better
They would love to have the opportunity that we're having right now. They would love to be at this part in our lives. You know what I mean? Where we could be out here free. Like you said, man, look, one of the things that I remember, Chill, is just having having the keys to the door in my pocket again.
Right.
Having a key that I can lock and open the door. I didn't have that all of those years. I had to wait for someone to open the door and then lock the door and keep me locked in. just having keys in your pocket for me was like, man, I'm out again.
Right. And so what I was trying to say is the reason, one of the main reasons that lawsuit was filed, because even if some of those dudes may not be able to come home due to their sentence, they at least don't want to be slammed down 23, 24 hours a day. They want to
Right.
be able to hit the yard and enjoy a cold soda or whatever. Everybody wants a better way of living if possible, right? And
Yeah.
so
One of the things I've said, and I don't know if you agree with me or not, bro. And you let me know how much time you got. How much, if you can still continue to be on. I want to respect your time too. But I'm so happy that you jumped on. But one of the things that I always say is that we come out here publicly and say that we've done time. Like you've come out publicly that your channel 16 to life, all of that. You've come out to say you were a lifer and you were allowed the opportunity to be out. I was not a lifer. I only did about 5 years, but I did time. I understand what it is to do time. While you're doing time, you kind of ride with these clicks that you have to ride it with, and we talk about these things, right? We're out here now. Um, but one of the things that I see is that people look at us as examples of dudes that are inside. And people look at us, and I think all of us would want for everybody that's on the inside to have a much easier time, right? And to have more opportunities to be out here if they really deserve it, if they do the work. But then I think that people look at these examples like Gunner, Joker, and they set the bar so low to where people can think, man, these are the guys that want to be out here on the street. I'm not going to sign any petition. I'm not going to sign anything to allow more people like this out on the street. No, so to me, my whole thing is like the example that these guys give publicly is not on par with what you're trying to do, with what I'm trying to do, and what others are trying to do, which is to show a different side as to why we deserve a second chance. I don't know if you could speak on that a little bit, bro.
no, 100%, right? And people would be amazed if they could see all the people who hit my comment section who said at one point I used to support Dubs, but I see him for who he really is, and now I no longer rock with Dubs. I mean, people would be amazed. I get that a lot, right? And also, I didn't start doing my YouTube videos as a way to try to change the youth and so on and so forth. I've done it for pure entertainment and to try to rap. But if
Okay.
I off with a positive message, it's because it's a reflection of what I've learned in prison. I don't want that life. I'm not just to come on here and sugarcoat it and make it seem like prison was fun. I have matured greatly from the individual who I was until now. So if I'm giving off once again a positive reflection, it's because prison is, that's what I learned. I learned that I don't want to go back to prison. So a couple days ago, one of my homies, he hit me with this little article, in his newspaper article, and it was basically a dude had shot at it appeared to me it was road rage, right? A dude had shot at somebody and he got arrested in Bannon, where I grew up at, and now they're charging the dude with 3 attempted murders. First thing that come to my mind is, man, this dude then just threw his damn life away, right? It happened to be the son of one of the an older dude who we knew. Actually, the dude is a dude I've been meaning to do an interview with. He was in Banning when Tookie was in Banning at a boys' home. And he was a dude from Compton who was living in Banning, who has pictures of Tookie and all this old type of stuff, right? And so it just so happened to be his grandson. But like I said, the first thing that comes to mind is this dude then just threw his life away. This dude, nowadays, an attempted murder, you might get 80, 90 years for that. So in trying to, show what we learned for all the individuals, whether they are just doing entertainment or they're trying to help people, I think it really helps, because even though that wasn't my main goal, a lot of times I'll run into people, or people will leave comments, or people will hit me on my Instagram or email me, hey man, Shields, something you said, it really changed. It made me change the way I think or the way I view life, this and that. Because let me say it here publicly for those who don't know, prison is messed up. Nobody wants to go to prison. 5 years is a long time, Frank. 5 years, just 5 years, man, is a waste of time. That's in 5 years, so much has changed. That's time you can't get back. And, you know,
Yes.
and none of my older homies made it seem like going to prison was a waste of time. They made it seem like it was a badge of honor and all this old cool stuff. You know, you get out muscular, long hair, girls looking all at you, and this and that. Man, listen, I got out of jail at 47 years old. I had to start from zero. I didn't have anything. Then by me not thinking I was ever gonna get out,
Yes.
I didn't take any trades in there. I didn't, you know, I'm thinking, why should I go to electronics or auto mechanics? I'm never going home. So when I did come out, I was at a big disadvantage. One of my first jobs, I went to Popeyes. I'm working at Popeyes, feeling like, man,
Wow.
I do it at Popeyes. Chicken. I'm in this motherfucker serving chicken. And I felt the job was beneath me, but I didn't get any skills when I was in
We
prison.
don't, we don't have the luxury, right? You don't have the luxury at that moment of choosing. Like and, that's one of the things I said on one of my videos is, you're dealt the cards that you're dealt. How you finesse that card, like how you play it out, is going to demonstrate just who you are as a man, bro. And I'm looking at you now, bro, and I'm glad that you made it, bro. I'm glad that you made it. I'm glad that you were able to step up to the plate, like so many of us have had to, and put all the work that it takes, because it takes a lot of work, bro. It takes a lot of work to be level-headed and not to run back to making money a faster way, like you said, when you're out there serving chicken. Like, what kept you composed? Like, what kept you from saying, you know what, I could take this route, I can make so much more money just doing this, but I know I need to stick to this? What was it that grounded you that way?
Well, once again, just knowing my past criminal history, I don't have the luxury to fuck up. You know what I'm saying? And then also knowing that, I didn't want to go back to prison. So the only difference, well, not the only, but the big difference between me now and when I was 22 and at 22, I didn't give a fuck. Now I give a fuck, because once you become aware of the consequences, any person who is still willing to put his life on the line and risk his freedom, in my opinion, is sad, because you don't have more to look forward to than potentially going back to prison. I'm in my 50s, man. A 5-year sentence right now would kill me, bring me out in my.
Yeah.
I'm saying, and so it's just either you're going to appreciate your life or you're not going to appreciate your life. I've done time with a lot of individuals, and some of those dudes have got out and went back, and I'd be like, man, what is this dude thinking? I was locked up with this guy who got out. He caught, like, after 18, 19 years. He wasn't a lifer, but he'd done about 18, 19 years. This dude catches 3 murders at a bowling alley. It's over for that dude.
Yeah, man.
Prison.
Yeah, it's too much, bro. So, I love having this conversation. People, in the chat, they're saying it's an organic conversation. I agree. I think we're, chopping it up. I wanted to ask you this, man, because to me, a support system is crucial, right? Having a good support system, having a good network with people. I think that when I was younger, I was not able to create that. I didn't know how to do it. But once I stepped out, I've been out for 26 years, bro. Just so you know, I've been out 26 years, and I came out with nothing. But I've learned a lot in this time, which has kept me afloat and everything. But what was important to you? How was family? How was that support system important for you to maintain, bro? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Frank, that's a great question, right? And one thing people don't know about me is, I love to have conversations. I love to debate, not argue, but I love to debate, because I feel that if you debate with an open mind, Frank, you may say something that may change my tomorrow. If you debate with a closed mind,
Yes.
then nothing's going to get into your mind. So having a support system is something, unfortunately, that everybody is not blessed to have, and if you do have one, it's a blessing. Real quick, when I was back, I told a story. I think I called it poker leads to lefts and rights. I told this story maybe about 3-4 years ago, right? So my friend is gambling with this dude. My friend loses on paper. You know how you buy in? You can buy in like $20 worth of chips, but then you get more money as you're playing, and then they put you down. So at the end of the game, my friend had lost. My friend always pays. So he was down to like about $40 or $50. The dude who won said, "Hey man, you're down on paper X amount of dollars or whatever. When are you gonna pay me? How are you gonna pay me?" My buddy is sitting in Ironwood. He's sitting on the ironing board table looking down, and the dude just sucker punched. Bam! We go over there, we blitz him, whoop him real tough. But the dude who sucker punched my buddy, he said, "Man, my bad. I'm sorry." Because he was going home in 2 or 3 days. He had been down about 12 or 13 years. And I'd heard him say maybe a few days before he punched my buddy, "Man, I don't want to go home. I don't." So I'm thinking at that time, because I'm a lifer, I'm thinking, who in the hell don't want to go home? How can you not? Now, keep in mind, this is before they had all the transitional homes, and he wasn't a lifer. So this dude he didn't have no family support. So he's paroling literally to nothing. He only has that little $200. So he's stressed out and worried, what the hell am I going to do? I'm in Ironwood. I don't have no clothes. So I got to pay for my parole clothes. I got to buy my bus ticket. So by the time I get back to LA, I'm going to have $60 or $70. And he was stressed out about that. At the time, I couldn't comprehend it because I didn't know nothing about parole and so on and so forth. So fast forward. So now when I parole, having a support system, all that is extremely helpful, and everybody's just not blessed to have it. Everybody's circumstances is different. So when I paroled, I have a cousin, he's in Africa right now. He gave me $5,000 cash. Then I had my other little home, my other homies here and there kicking in bread and this and that. By the time it was all said and done, I had about $12,000, just from my homies and my friends, right? I was calling that my gang banging, what was I calling it? Security fund or something. Right?
Your refund.
But it was a big blessing, right? I was in the transitional house. Everybody in the transitional house didn't have that type of support. So I went and bought me a car and some other things and this and that. But so I say all that to say support plays a huge amount of help when you parole, because unfortunately some people who haven't really embraced coming home and haven't really thought about what they don't want to do, when they get out here and they're caught up with the changes of life. Some of these dudes feel like they have no option but to turn back to the streets, to turn back to selling drugs, doing things that will lead them potentially back to prison. So having a support system is invaluable. I had my mom, I had my ex-wife, I had plenty cousins, many homeboys. And so it's just, it's extremely helpful because it gives you a cushion to sit back and try to get your life together.
Yeah, definitely, man. No, I hear you, bro. And I feel the same way. I think you're fortunate enough, but I think even from behind bars, you build and you destroy relationships. You know what I mean?
Right.
A lot of times you can build relationships while you're locked up through the changes that you're making and people seeing, okay, you're actually taking advantage. I mean, it's hard. It's hard sometimes, but you can make changes while you're locked up, but you can also destroy relationships, and I think that a lot of times it plays out in how your character is and what we're seeing online with these characters, with these individuals. I can see how easily they could have fucked off a lot of relationships. Hey, Chill, it's been a pleasure. I just want to, if there's any one last thing you want to add, before the fight, if you think the fight or, anything that you want to put out there, but, I just want to thank you so much for appearing on my channel, bro. Anything you want to say to the chat, anything you want to say to people that are expecting something out of this fight, what would you like to say, man?
Okay, so I want to say something real quick, right? First and foremost, sometimes people talk about when you go to prison, you have to get rehabilitated, right?
Yes.
But the word rehabilitated means to be basically, to be brought back, to be restored. But in order to be rehabilitated, you have to be habilitated from the get-go. Some people have been habilitated. So some people can't even be rehabilitated. So like you was talking about how sometimes you destroy relationships. Some people don't even have the intellectual wherewithal to know how to start. Some people feel like the world owes them something. And if you go to prison with that attitude, of course, like you say, you're going to wind up destroying your relationship because you're mad at your mom or your little brother for not sending you a package when you're the person that sent yourself to jail. So if you don't have the right understanding, you're not even going to be able to fix a relationship and have a support system looking or wanting to help you when you get out. Now, So last but not least, thanks to everybody in the chat, man. I am 100% hoping that this fight goes through. I know people want to see the fight, and like I say once again, I have no animosity for me. Let's get in the ring, let's do some content, and after that, like Gunner says, let's dead it. Let's dead the situation. Let's get in the ring, mix it up. I'm sure there's a lot of people interested in seeing what's gonna happen. To keep it 100, you do want to see people. Some people you do want to. There's people out there that want to see Gunner punched in the mouth. There's some people out there that want to see me punched in the mouth. So let's make everybody happy. Whoever wants to see us punched in the mouth, let's try to make these people happy. Let's move forward, man. My last thing that I propose to everybody, don't let racial hatred control your life, man.
Amen. Amen.
Move forward. Try to literally look at things with an open mind and open heart, and decide who you think is wrong by the morals that you live on. Don't let race be the deciding factor to make a person pick a side, because at the end of the day, this is all content, and people get extremely sometimes caught up and emotional on what's going on YouTube. Don't let this stuff cause you to, get your life all fucked up or whatever.
Lose your composure, man. Just don't lose your composure over this shit, man.
if YouTube sends all the content creators a notice tomorrow saying, hey, man, in 3 days, we're going to stop paying, you won't see me on this motherfucker no more. I'm not here to change your life. None of that shit. I'm here for the money. If they stop paying, I'm out of here. That's the only reason I'm here, because of the money.
Hey, man. Hey. No truer words have been spoken, Chill. Listen, Chill. I invite you anytime you want to pop on, man. You see me live. It's been a pleasure, bro. Like you said, and I've been supporting you. I've been a supporter of your channel. We've been chopping it up in the comments. I'm glad you jumped on, man. Thank you so much for supporting my little channel. Hopefully we can chop it up some other time, maybe before the fight, if it comes down, maybe after the fight, we can have these conversations. But my platform is your platform, bro. You're welcome all the time. I consider you an outstanding dude. No race involved, just so you know. I don't fuck with none of that. I'm a straight up, if a man is a man, he's gonna be a man no matter where he comes from, what he's doing. Just be a man. Just be a man about it. Your word has to be bond, bro. Your word has to be bond all the time, man. Thank you so much for being here, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me, Frank, and keep pushing, Frank. When I started off doing YouTube, my main goal was to try to get 500 subscribers, just to pass one of my buddies. I had no idea, man. So just keep pushing, and it's gonna happen for you, man. Keep pushing.
I appreciate you, bro. I really, truly appreciate you guys. Hey, everyone in the chat, shout out to Chill, man. Please subscribe to his channel. Please check out what he does, man. I enjoy it. I hope YouTube continues to pay you, bro, so we can continue to have content from Mr. Chill, man. Hey, nice to see you, brother. God bless you.
Hey, look, if they don't pay me, I'll be right back at Popeyes.
Just let us know where it's at, bro. We're gonna go buy some combos over there.
Y'all have a good one, man. I appreciate you.
Hey, take care, brother. Take care. Peace, man. Peace. All right, man. Let's go ahead and remove Chill from stage. Hey, man, that was a surprise for me. Thank you so much, Chill. Thank you so much. I'm gonna kick him out. I just kicked him out. I'm about to have some lunch too. So just so you guys know, none of this was planned, but just God is good. God is good. God is good. It's getting better, man. It's getting better. This is a type of support that I didn't expect I was going to have. But, real recognize real, man. Real recognize real. And this just goes to show, man, don't let none of the haters, don't let none of the trolls make you believe one thing when the reality is another. We're shining a light on these dudes. We're shining a light on all of these guys. And, real recognize real. Shout out to Chill. Shout out to ET. Shout out to Slugs. Shout out to everybody that's putting their content out there. Shout out to L, A Prisoner's Awakening. Shout out to all of you guys, Mag, E. Mateo, Oakland, everything. Joe Below, the Hangman Stranger, everybody that's been a part of this. ET, shout out to you and to your platform. Big Juan, hey, man, thank you so much. Frank, you make a really good reporter, great interview. Hey, man, it's just conversation, We're going to keep the conversations going 2 times. Everybody, Looney, You know, El Gato, Mr. Oxnard, Miss Yaya, the ladies of Exposed to. Shout out to South Cali Life. Thank you so much, Roxanne, for jumping in and watching me. I know that you should be choosing oldies right now. Ramiro, everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody, man. It's been a pleasure. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep doing this, rocking. You know how it is. We're not going to take our foot off their necks. We're going to keep putting these fools on blast. And yeah, it was a time. It was a good time. Thank you once again, Chill Man, for jumping on. Yeah, resume program, everybody. Have an excellent rest of the week. We will see you tonight with the Exposed to family in the chat, man. And until next time, like we always say around these here parts, peace.